it's nice to see you. It looks like I got... I don't know how well I'm coming in or how well I will come in. I just wanted to say good morning before it started getting too hot out and shut my phone down. So I figured I'd come here. I haven't really watched anything since last night. I'm exhausted. I don't feel like I got the amount of sleep I should have, I'll be honest. But either way, we're doing all right. So anyways, I just wanted to come here to let you guys know I made it through Alabama, Mississippi. I stopped and slept. Listen to this. I didn't realize how close to my sister's house it was. Where I ended up stopping and sleeping was like 30 minutes from my little sister's house. And I ended up calling her this morning, which I'm sure she's already at work. I think she goes to work at like 2 or 4 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. And of course, I'm in a different time zone. I didn't realize as soon as I went through half of my panhandle, I was in a different time zone. So I'm actually an hour behind my normal time, and pretty soon I'm going to be 2 to 3 hours behind my normal time. So this should be fairly interesting. Good morning, everybody. I can't call you out by name because I'm obviously driving and need to keep my eyes on the road. I don't have my reading glasses on, so I can't even read even if I wanted to. I hope I'm coming in clear and you guys can all see me. So I haven't heard of any new information since last night, since the confirmation. I know that they're not confirmation hearing, the Senate Judiciary Oversight Committee or whatever the heck it's called. It sounds like Kash Patel is also going to be doing that again today, and I think it starts at like 8 a.m. Eastern time, which might be in an hour. I don't know what time it is, or it might actually be already starting, because I keep forgetting you guys are ahead of me, not behind me. I'm used to everybody being behind me, so my head is just like really messed up right now. I gotta be honest. I have to be honest. It's really messed up. So anyways, I was hoping to have time to stop and cover another story like the D-Bell case or something like that, but when I got into the vehicle, I thought I had a 24-hour drive there, and I actually had a 32-hour drive to Arizona. So it increased my drive by a day. So it's taking me almost damn near 3 days to get there, because I won't be pulling in until tomorrow sometime. And so I won't be able to cover another case. So the only way we're going to be able to support the channel is talk about what we know, and I'm on the road, so I don't have time to research anything else. So might as well go ahead and start breaking down what we do know for all the people that go to work and have no time to look into what's going on, or only get a clip here and a clip there. I'll give you guys the Reader's Digest version as we start breaking into our topic of conversation, which is on September 10th, Charlie Kirk. He was assassinated after a 33-hour, and we realized that the assassin was a young 22-year-old student, not from this university, that ended up being the assassin, and his name is Tyler Robinson. Of course, everybody condemned us for saying this was a left-wing nut, and from this transgender community, violent militia community, and everybody condemned us for saying that. And of course, lo and behold, it is exactly what we thought it was originally. It was some crackpot on the left that's been brainwashed into the ideology of the left, that thinks that we're all fascists and monsters and we're coming to dictate the country, when unfortunately he ended up being everything he hated, because we believe in speech. We don't believe in violence. Do we think certain people need to be put to death? In my opinion, yes. I know I certainly do. But we're not going out there and taking the matters into our own hands. We're wanting to do this properly, legally and lawfully. And that means, getting indictments for people and taking them to court, to criminal court or civil court, depending on what the situation is. We do not believe in taking violence into our own hands. Now, do we have some crackpots on the right? Of course we do. We can't force people to vote one way or the other. So naturally, we have crackpots as well in our party. There's no doubt about it. But the violence, the actual violence of politicians and conservatives and activists, that's all coming from the left. That's all coming from the left. Now, is there, I still don't understand about the Melissa Hortman and all this other stuff, because we found out that the guy used to work for Tim Walz, and everybody's trying to claim him as one of ours, and it's like, I don't think he is. I really don't. I know they're going to keep pushing that he is, but I don't. I think that he working for Tim Walz and going after them because it was a very hard, this is what happened. I can't remember what the vote was over. I think it was over medical or something in their state. And she voted against it. And she was crying that she had to vote against it, but she had to do what was right for her state as a whole. And literally within a week of that vote, her and that other guy, Hoffman, was dead. This sounds like it was, a JFK type of situation where it came from their own party, in my opinion. But, if we have to use, if one of them has to be claimed, sorry, I forgot to put my blinker on when I switch lanes. If one of them was... If this guy that did Hortman and Hoffman, if he really is one of ours, then we have to claim it. I mean, but I just don't think he is. I just don't see how he is. I mean, how do you go working from Tim Walz and then become a right-wing nut? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to trust my instinct on this one. I want to look into that one a little bit more. We did cover it, and we were confused ourselves. He was the one that, remember, we were on our show, and we were talking about the latex masks, and I said, this is going to be a problem. They started showing the realistic latex-type masks, and I remember saying, this scares me. Remember, I did a show on it. I'm like, this kind of crap scares me, because you can literally, because we're from true crime. And every time I see something, I always look at it from the lens of how much chaos can be brought from this item, right? And you're talking about having a realistic face. You can be a woman and look literally like a man and go and hurt somebody. And it wasn't even, I don't even know how long it was. I mean, this is how ironic it is, that it was like another week or two later that the Melissa Hortman and Hoffman happened. And it was like literally on the heels of me talking about these latex masks. And lo and behold, this dude was wearing a latex mask and acting like a police officer so he could unalive these two families. And I really do believe it was over the vote, the Democratic vote in Minnesota. But, I'm just one little girl from Florida, so it's going to take me a little bit digging. So if you guys have any information on the Hortman and Hoffman stuff to identify the guy that, we know who it was, that I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but we do he was in custody. He is in custody, so he didn't lose his life or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure we'll get some information. But this violence toward these politicians are really coming from one side. I want to dig in on the Hoffman and Hortman case, because I really do believe that was left-wing on left-wing action there. And I think it had to do with a vote that took away some type of legal benefits to the disadvantaged in part. I feel like that, if I recall correctly, we'd covered so many cases. It wasn't like we dove into it all 4 feet. It was just something we found. It was, we had a person on the run, and we do all hands on deck when we have manhunt. That's just they vote. At the end of the day, they're freaking people. Can you guys hear me now? Am I back? I might need to close down the show if we can't do it. Oh, there you guys are. Thank you guys for saying happy birthday, but can you guys see me or hear me? Okay, good. I was unsure because it seemed like I went out for a little bit and I couldn't tell. I couldn't see anything in the chat. I can't see. How much of that did you guys hear? Did you guys hear all of it, or was I just was I just out to lunch? Now we can. Okay, that's what I thought. Because I'm like, I can always tell when I start dropping. It doesn't tell me on this end, but I can tell when the chat stops moving. I can't read the chat, but I can tell when the chat stops moving. I'm in the middle of BFE, if you guys are wanting to know. I don't know where I'm at. It's saying I've got some LTE service. I'm sure I'm like lagging like what. But I just wanted to tell you guys I'm still on the move. I'm doing well. I'm probably going to start getting on the internet and just listening to that Senate Judiciary confirmation. If it started already, then I'm just going to go back to the beginning, because it took 4.5 hours yesterday. I'm pretty confident it's going to take 4.5 hours today. I'm so sick. You know what? This is what I will say. I am so sick and tired of what did you guys see that? At the end of the day, it took me to Shipwreck. Shipwreck is a lady on X. I love her. I've been following her for years. We don't agree 100% of the time, but I identify with her. I like her, even though we don't agree on everything all the time. And she's the one that brought it out. I'm happy with the work that Kash Patel did. I'm really happy with it. But she brought up about how much of a shit show the Senate is. Our government has become just a nightmare. And I'm starting to think that our government is working against us. We've got people that are trying. They're trying. You can hear them try, but it's not functioning. Like, I really think that America is better off at this point without our freaking government. They're doing absolutely squat to help us. Absolutely squat. Most of them are in it for their own, financial freedom. I mean, they're in it to rob us blind. I don't understand how somebody can make $120,000 a year and have 3 multi-million-dollar homes. Does that make sense to you? Of course not. They're getting paid by other entities. They're getting paid by underhanded stuff that they're doing in our country. There's no other explanation for it. None. They're full-time employees of the government. How does that give you $33 million in your bank account and 5 freaking properties? You make that make sense to me. That's not a kind of math that any mathematician can make work for me. There's corruption. And they're trying to hold on to that corruption, and it's irritating because we are all seeing it. I'm getting so distasteful. Like, I don't know what. I just don't. But anyways, guys, I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm sorry that I keep going in and out, but it's what happens when I'm on the road. A big shout out to all the people that have supported this trip, even though you didn't have to. And this trip was paid for. That little buffer has really, really, really helped. And I just want to tell you guys, thank you. I appreciate everything that you guys do for me and the channel each and every day. And I hope you guys appreciate what the channel does for you, trying to get all this information out. I don't know what to expect when I get here. I can tell you that the closer I get to Arizona, the more emotional I'm getting. I can tell, I've been trying to keep my mind occupied, listening to music, which I never do when I'm on these trips, because I'm always thinking about the case and what avenues I need to look down and, where do I need to go and stuff like that. Well, this is much different. This is a very, very long trip, 3 days by myself in this car with nothing but time on my hands. So, I am looking at, my life. I'm looking at, what can I do better? And I think everybody needs to be doing that. What can we do better as humans? I will never change my brash nature when it comes to my true crime cases. I'm here fighting sometimes politicians, the government, murderers, rapists, essayers. I'm usually fighting with a lot of nasty, ugly people, but they are the wolves. They're the wolves. We already know them. We already know that what they are. We know that our suspects are what they are. But it's the foxes, right? It's the slick ones. It's the ones that you don't know, that look like they're smiling in your face until they take your face off. You know, those are the ones that I'm most concerned about in our government, and we've got a lot of them. We know the wolves. It's the foxes that are causing me such heartburn. And we've got them on both sides of the aisle. And pushing this new bill through our government, our spending bill, I'm going to be very, very, very disappointed. And if the Republican Party doesn't come together and shut Schumer down. If I freaking hear Rand Paul throwing a monkey wrench in this, or Tom Massey throwing a monkey wrench in this, I'm going to be going to Kentucky and protesting. I'm going to be protesting. I'll be protesting by myself, damn it. I don't care. I've got a mouth, I can use it. But I'm just sick and tired of the foxes in our own party. I want, if you are from Kentucky, I want Tom Massey out of office. I want Rand Paul out of office. They are the cancer to the Republican Party. They need D's next to their names, not R's. We've already been expelling some of our Republicans. They've already started crossing over to Democrats because, to be honest with you, the Democrats are the ones of destruction and chaos and of the Republican rejects. The people that are on the left that have a sane mind are going to end up having no choice but to end up being an independent or a Republican. The problem is they have to make a decision between a D and an R if they want to be elected, you know, because running an independent, very, very, very seldom. And I know the independent, you guys love it because it's just your line in the sand, right? It's I'm not with them, I'm not with them. We're with the right people, you know, whoever's going to get our country moving. And you got to bless God bless those independents, because they're basically saying, look, whoever's going to make America better. And so I love those people. But as a party, as an independent party, they're not making they're making a lot of headway, but they're not there yet. So people have to decide whether it's a D or an R, because being an I doesn't really move the needle anywhere. Now, being an I is starting to, formulate more of a base than what it once had, and but it's still not enough. So the choices have to be law and order. Whoever's going to get us there, law and order. And I can't stand one more person in office that will celebrate the death of another person. We never celebrated Hortman or Hoffman's death. Nobody celebrated their death. And now they're like, oh, but nobody condemned it either. The hell we didn't. If you don't believe me, go back. I'm pretty sure their names were on the titles. I'm pretty sure that I did a show just on them. So, the hell we didn't condemn the violence. The hell we didn't. I don't want to hear it. I know for a fact I condemned the acts of violence. I am pretty confident that when it was said, I'm pretty sure Trump condemned the act of violence. So I don't want to hear this crap, because I was watching the Senate and they're like, oh, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. And that's where Kash Patel had the mic drop. He's like, the subpoenas, this has already been released to the public. Like, the public has my transcripts. How does the Senate not have my transcripts? Don't worry, I'll send it to you, right? Everything they kept coming after him, he shut down with the exception of the civil litigation. Okay, anybody can allege anything that they want to in a civil action. And you know what? They haven't had their day in court. They're only talking about one side. I don't even think that that Kash's attorneys had an opportunity to respond to those allegations, because they didn't reference any of the responses from Kash in those one-sided, oh, these are what the allegations are. Well, we damn sure know that just because you bring allegations, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true, right? So I don't know. at the end of the day, these people, we know that Russiagate was a hoax. So anybody that was on the bandwagon of looking into something that they should have known immediately was a hoax, and to continue to build case around it, yeah, I would say that you're not operating at the standard of an FBI agent should be. You're becoming a political operative instead of an FBI agent, and I'm sorry, that is ripe for termination from my book. That's ripe for termination from my book. And so anybody, I don't care if you're a decorated person or not, you violate the Constitution, your ass is walking with a pink slip. I support that 100%. I don't care if you saved a baby from 15 bombs. You violate the Constitution for one American citizen, that means squat. It means squat. So we can't do this, we can't do that, it's a violation of this, it's a violation. I don't want to hear it. Look at that, 247. What, I was in Florida. I got to tell you this because it pisses me off. I'm in Florida. I like Mike Ron, he's a commissioner. I don't like his policies, but he's never lied to me. So I have utmost respect that when I go to Mike, I'm going to get a truthful answer. Is something, yeah, but this is how I'm going to vote. He owns his stuff. I love politicians like that. Okay, he's a pro-developer, which is the one thing I can't stand about him. He's pro-developer when we're trying to stop the development in our community at the rapid rate it's going. But he's never, ever, ever lied to me. He's never lied to me. And that's what we need, where you got these people that are standing on their convictions but not lying to you. We don't get that. We don't get that in Florida. But work committee. And I was in there screaming bloody murder about our gas prices, right? Because I travel all over this country. Most people are kind of work right in their community. They go out of town, a few times a year on vacation, and that's it. And I get so frustrated because we have ports in the state of Florida bringing in our gas. So we should be much like Texas in the sense that we should have historically low gas rates. Well, I'm leaving town at $3.30. I cross a border, and our gas immediately goes to $2.89. Everything from Florida, or from the borders of Florida up, are almost $1 cheaper in gas. And of course, Mike, he got upset. Because he's the president of the board of the port, and I'm condemning our gas prices in Florida. And when I get back, I'm going to condemn him again. I love Mike to death, but I don't care if I've got to whip his little butt. We've got to have some lower gas prices in Florida, okay? When I can cross over the border and get $1 a gallon cheaper gas, we've got a big problem in Florida. Now, I get it. We're doing away with our property taxes and shit. I get that. And we have to make up the money somewhere. But really, $1 for traveling on our roads per gallon? That's a little steep for me, okay? So we're going to have to figure it out. I need to get with DeSantis and find out what his future is. How are we going to compensate this money? We just did a Doge thing, and they're actually arguing with Orange County. I hate Orange County. Orange County, they are just mismanagement out the wazoo. Their police sucks. They didn't get to Madeline Soto. She was reported missing, and it took them 4 hours to get there, and that's not the first time that we've heard stories like that coming out of Orange County. And we were like, we know here on the true crime side that every second counts when a child is missing. Literally every second is life or death, and it took them 4 hours to even show up to take the missing person report. But we all know that Madeline was already deceased by Stephen Stearns before the call was even out, because she lost her life that morning, it appears. And it's stuff like that. And so now our state is arguing with them, okay, saying that you guys are mismanaging your funds. And they don't like it. They're like, we don't care if you don't like it. You're mismanaging your funds. You're wasteful. It's fraud, waste, and abuse. When you're handing $20 million to your friend, it's called cronyism. Okay? Look that word up, cronyism. And we're not doing that in the state of Florida. So we're bringing the stuff down like a hammer. I hope everybody is pushing your states to do the same thing, because a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with is a lot of mismanagement of our taxpayer funds, and it's all to help somebody else, not us. And that's got to stop at at the local levels. The local levels are doing it, the states are doing it, and the feds are doing it. I mean, we're being robbed blind everywhere you go. If you really sat down and took your paycheck and you paid for your gas tax, your property tax, your all the taxes, the sales tax, tax, I guarantee about 30 or 40, even as high as 50% of your income is going to taxes. Taxes. You're working your ass off. The government ain't doing shit but got their hand out. They're not even barely providing you safety, and they're taking about 50% of your overall paycheck. Look, do the math. Go do the math. Go do the sales tax. Go do all the taxes that you have to pay. Electric tax, phone tax, the tax to use an Apple phone from Apple itself. I mean, you're bleeding money. You know why you can't make it? Because our government's taking about 50% of our paycheck. Now, I don't know about you, but I ain't working for somebody to have an elite lifestyle and 5 blessed $1 million homes, multi-million-dollar homes, and have $33 million in their bank account when they only make $120,000. I don't know about you, but I don't like that. I don't like feeling duped. I don't like being lied to. One thing I tell you more than anything in the world is I hate a liar and I hate a thief. Okay? And what is our government? Liars and thieves. So how do you think I feel about my government? And I am a political activist. Why? Because I can't stand liars and thieves. So there is that. Looks like I'm in a new state. I don't know what state I'm in. But it's a state that has 864 miles in it. Wow. Am I in Texas? What state am I in? I don't know what state I'm in. I'm in a state. I don't think I'm in Louisiana anymore. Does anybody know what comes after Louisiana? Well, you guys can't tell me. I can't read. But still. I'm driving by a Dickey's barbecue. And I'm thinking, somewhere in America's got to have a Dickey's and a Hooters. Our country's going to hell. All right, dirty minds. I got to get my mind right. Maybe it's for being single too long. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Texas, am I in Texas? Okay, maybe that's where I'm at. Okay, I'm in Texas. All right, folks, I'm in Texas. Yeehaw! I wonder if I can get me a real steak up in here. I'm probably going to drive through 800 miles. Good gracious! 862 miles. Texas is too big, okay? We got to cut Texas in half so it doesn't feel like I'm in Texas for a little. I'm going to be in Texas for the entire day. 800 miles? Shoot. Shoot-wee. That should tell you. I want a real prime steak from Texas. Oh, I bet you it's delicious. I bet you they have some good steakhouses in Texas. I've only been in Texas, for the Audrey Cunningham. I don't really come out here. We came out here to do a documentary on the immigration crisis. They had just cracked down, and Greg Abbott closed down the border and put the National Guards on the border. So we thought we'd go to Eagle Pass, and now that it's settled down. So Olivia and I flew in. She flew in from North Carolina. I flew in from Florida, and we ended up getting planes that landed within like 10 minutes apart. So it was perfect. And as soon as we started landing, we started getting the Amber Alert, and it was Audrey Cunningham. So we ended up, changing our plans. Instead of going going straight to Eagle Pass, we ended up making the trip to Audrey Cunningham, and we ended up going over to the Soto case as well. Soto and what was the other one? Anyway, she was a pregnant adult. She was just about to give birth, and her and her boyfriend were unalived. And anyways, long story. But that's how we got involved with the Audrey Cunningham. But we were so busy running, we couldn't really do anything but eat fast food because we were literally all over the state in a week. And we went down to Eagle Pass, and of course it was pretty dead at the border and everything like that. So we got to walk around and meet a few people, and then we got back in and went right back to Audrey Cunningham's case. We already had, we got off the plane and we started doing our work. We already knew the suspect. We already had the history. We already knew the parents. We already knew where they were. We already knew her bus stop. Like before, I mean, Olivia and I, when we worked together, we worked together. We get all of the information. We knew we were just waiting to find the body, and we knew it was Stephen McDougal. But they didn't arrest him until after they finally did find her, and she was found in a tent bag with a rock and thrown into the river. It was just awful. It was just awful. But I never got an opportunity to eat a steak, you know, and now we're back here going through the state again to get to Arizona. I've never been to Arizona. I mean, well, I shouldn't say that. I've been to Arizona when I was younger for some stuff with, you know, for a vacation with my dad and my sister, my older sister. And that was the last time I was in the Arizona, Texas, New Mexico stuff, but I did come to Texas a year or two ago. We went to Uvalde, we went to the Soto case, and we did the Cunningham case as well as the border in a week. In a week. That was nuts. That was nuts. So, no steak then. I'm not going to be able to have a steak now because I'm driving through. And anyways, all right guys, well, that's kind of where I'm at today. I love you guys. I don't have a lot of information. Like I said, the closer I'm getting to this, the more I'm feeling very, very, very emotional about what happened. It's like ripping the wound back open, you know, because I'm angry because I'm hurt. You know, I'm so hurt that there is such evil, just pure evil in this world, and then people justifying the pure evil. It's just demonic. For the first time, I truly believe that this is not just a human battle. I think this is a spiritual battle, without a doubt, because for me, there's no explanation of what we're seeing in our country except this battle between good and evil. When we start glorifying the criminals and demeaning the law-abiding citizens, we've got major problems, big problems. People want to kill people because they don't want to talk about the problems that we have here. We have people that have mental illness, and that mental illness was exploited for violent means by this underbelly of society that's being bought and paid for by someone. There is an organization out there that is wanting to destabilize the United States of America. And we have to reject that notion. And it's time for us to take politician seats that are promoting this. Okay? We've got to take them out of their seats. We've got to put new people in those places that are supporting this destabilization of the United States of America. That will affect all of us, whether you're right, left, or straight up and down the middle. The destabilization of our country opens us up. It weakens us, and it opens us up for violence from outside. And that's what they want. That truly is what they want. And there's just a lot of dumb people out there. I'm not trying to convince the people, I'm the people that are seeing, that have their eyes open. I'm just trying to get you guys understanding how important this 2026 and more importantly the 2028 elections are going to be for the stabilization of our government and of our United States. It is absolutely critical that we all get out and vote. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I'm just going to tell you that if you see something wrong and you know that these people have been in office for years and nothing has changed, then it's time for change. And I think we all, as normal Joes, as average Joes, I think that we need to realize we're in a lot of trouble and we have to come together and get ourselves out of this trouble. And the only way we're going to do it is voting for the people that understand the sanctity of human life and law, because that is the basis of our survival, is having law and order. If we have anarchy and chaos in the streets, we're no different than a third world country. We are so much better than that. The human people here in America are so much better than that. And I have to say the human people because I've seen some of the robots. They look pretty human to me. It's pretty scary. That's another scary thing. I saw a lady, she's got from here up, and she was a robot, and she looked like a human being that was cut from here up, and she's just sitting there having a conversation and turning her head and everything, and I'm like, just like those latex masks, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a big problem. This is going to be a big problem. And I don't even want to begin to think of where some of the sick problems are going to come from with something like that, but we're going to even have more problems than the sick, twisted, people. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like the funny people that don't mind robots and dolls. I'm sorry. It's just a little creepy for me, okay? And if you guys are okay with it, hey, to each their own, okay? I'm just saying it's a little ick. It's a little ick. I don't want a robot looking like a human. Let's make robots look like robots, okay? Please? I don't even want to know what you guys are doing. No, get it out. No, stop it. I hate when my brain starts doing that. Stop. It's like short circuiting. Get me out of that ugh. All right, guys, now that I just upsetted my stomach, I love you guys. Have a great day. And I'm going to try to get that image out of my head. Oh, my God. All right, guys, have a great day. I love you. I will be back probably before the sun goes down like I did last night, but I'll have more of a conversation about, the state of the case, and I'll see if I can find out any new information about anything that might be released from about Kirk's assassination. But I'm going to start listening to it now. I think it's already started. And I'll listen to the whole thing and give you guys an update later today about what I heard and what I found, and try to identify different areas if you want to fact check the information for yourself. So I won't be able to give you guys, hours and minutes, but I can tell you if it's in the middle of it and if it's at the end of it. But hopefully Shifty Shift just shuts his pie hole. I can't stand that man. You know what? Out of all the bad things going on in our country, for them to worry about, government employees being fired, it just shows you how corrupt they are. Because they put their corrupt FBI in place so they can keep getting, confidential, top secret information that they're not entitled to. That's why they're out of office, because they did polygraphs, and they probably were found to have, released confidential, classified information or something to that effect. We can't have people like that in any government office. That's treasonous. That's inappropriate. Like, we're talking about national security. This is no joke, okay? And for them to be, out of all the problems we have in this country, for them to be talking about such petty issues, and that being their sticking point on the left, is just, it just shows you how desperate the Democrat Party is at this moment. And, people that are Democrats may say, that's unfair. It's not unfair when your own politicians are discussing petty things like who was fired from that's not their business. They don't keep people. That's out of their wheelhouse. They have no authority who stays and who goes. People work, and this idea that you're a government employee and you are provided better benefits and you can't be fired from your job, whatever law or behind the scenes, orders are in place for that needs to go. If you are a horrible employee, you deserve to be stripped of your rights and fired. Period. I don't want to hear this, we have, due process before we're fired crap. No. Absolutely not. If you do something bad, you should be fired just like any other employee and any other thing. As a matter of fact, I think we need to do it for our politicians. When our politicians get into office and they start voting exactly the opposite of what they promised us they voted, we should in our areas be able to immediately recast our vote if somebody needs to be removed from office, instead of them lying to our face during elections, getting into the place and then starting to switch and vote exactly opposite of the way that they told us that they would vote, that they would represent the people. I think even them, they should have to be forced out of office and a new ballot taken. But right now, the way the laws work is we hire these people in. If they switch or they do a 180, we're stuck with them for 4 years. What? If we can prove that they lied to us, we should be able to remove them from office, and there is no path forward to do that. I don't like that. We're the bosses. If we want to fire somebody, damn it, we should be able to do it. I want the will of the people to reign supreme, not the will of a politician. The will of the people. If you're in a Democrat-ran place and you want Democrat policies, that is your right and entitlement to vote that in. And if somebody lied to you about how they were going to vote or policies that you do not agree with, I want you to be able to fire them. And the same for a Republican candidate. So I think we need to start truly giving the power back to the people, and we're nowhere closer to that. And that's going to be my drumbeat, and that's for all people, not just one side or the other. But anyways, I love you all, and the people that have hate and evil in your heart, I pray for you. I truly pray for you. I pray that one day that stone heart, whatever made you stone, I hope that you work on that. Because you know what's deplorable? Is somebody celebrating over your death. That's pretty deplorable, right? And so you celebrated over somebody else's death, which is deplorable. So if you had any happiness in your heart, you've got a lot of work to do on yourself, and only you can do it. And if you're in denial, you're in denial. Nobody's going to be able to, I used to be on drugs. I used to be on some pretty heavy drugs, and guess what? No matter how much my mommy begged me to stop, how much my daddy begged me to stop, nobody could ever get me to change my life until I was sick and tired and ready to change my life. And that has to go to the other way too. If you're celebrating somebody's death and you see nothing wrong with it, that's something you got to work on with yourself, because how would you feel if somebody celebrated your life? And you're, well, I didn't do this and I didn't do that, but you did something. You said something to somebody that doesn't like you or like what you said. And based on the own thing that you're supporting and cheering on could have happened to you because of that. So you got to really start thinking about stuff and putting yourself in a situation. Because if you put, or even if you don't care about yourself, put your mom or somebody you love and put them in the place of Charlie Kirk. How would you feel? I guarantee your heart would be broken. 2 beautiful babies. Now, we protect babies on this channel. We protect babies. It is the one thing that I went to jail for speaking my truth with hashtags from Florida, and Tennessee wanted to arrest me because of my First Amendment rights, which they did. They weren't successful. They had the arrest, they had the smear, but they didn't have the conviction because the grand jury, the ones that indicted a ham sandwich. This was lettuce. This wasn't even the ham sandwich, and they knew it. and they failed to indict. They would not bring back a true bill because they knew it was horseshit. Like, this is going on all over the country. I truly believe that it's my politics and why I was stopped and why I was brought up here and all this other stuff, and I'm not going to ever stop talking about it. They'll never destroy me because I really don't care. I really just don't care. I guarantee the secrets in other people's closets are far more superior than the secrets in my closet. I'm just saying. But anyways, you guys take care. I love you. It is my birthday today, and I'm hoping I'm not really celebrating my birthday. As many of you guys know, this is not a celebration. And if you don't know me, every single year I get out and I search for a missing person on my birthday. 2 years ago it was Layla Santinello. Before that, I can't remember who I was. It might have been Miranda Miranda Rosa, or somebody. But every single year for my birthday, I've been out in the woods searching for a missing person. Except last year when, the hate channels, with the help of terrible parents that I believe murdered their child, tried to lawfare me and throw me in jail for my speech. And that case is not over yet. And then this year, I'm going to Charlie Kirk's memorial, basically his funeral. We're not going to see his casket or anything like that, but, basically his funeral. It's the last 2 years have been destroyed of our ability to help another human being because of hate. Because of hate. Because of hate channels, because of hateful rhetoric, because of hateful people that like to beat a child to death, in my opinion. Just pure evil and hate. And all of us are dealing with it. And I'm just tired of it. So hopefully you guys join the bandwagon and get these assholes out of office so we can start, our government's still going to be our government. They're still going to be a pain in the side, and we've got to limit that. And we've got literally a president that wants to eliminate, like reduce our government. Like, I've been screaming for that for 10 blessed years. And we got somebody that's trying to give us back our freaking money. And we got idiots out there saying, no, please keep our money. I'm like, what the fuck? Guys, wake up. I want my damn money back. Okay, I'm sorry. If you don't want your money, give it to me. I'll take it. I'll make good use of it. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm happy to make good use of your money. You don't want money back from the government? Fine, I'll take it for you. I can do a hell of a lot more with the money than the government can. I bet you guys would approve what I do with the money as opposed to the government. Because we would be using that stuff to find babies and missing people. Something that really affects all of us. So, anyways, I'll let you guys go. I've been on my soapbox too long. I'll have more of a conversation later this evening once I get some talking points. But I honestly just came live when I could. So I love you. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.